April 20th, 2021 meeting is called to order. Pat Welsh will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance.
You please stand. Flags to my left. Join me, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It's so good to see everyone. It's so good to be here in person. Thank you so much for being here. Roll call. Board Secretary, Mrs. Vaughn.
We've got Pat Welsh, Amy Johnson, Chairman of Superintendent Dr. Hill here this evening, absent for Jessica Fogarty, Amy Dodson, and Beatrice Watson.
Thank you, Mrs. Vaughn. Approval of the agenda. Is there a recommendation to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved, Sid Hill.
So moved by Sid Hill. A second?
Second, Amy Johnson.
Second by Amy Johnson. Is there any discussion? All in favor of approval of the agenda, please raise your hand. Opposed? All in favor. Thank you so much. Special items. Do we have anyone to address the board on an agenda item? Seeing that we have no one, we'll move on to Teacher of the Year, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, it is always an exciting time of year to acknowledge and celebrate educators who have been named Teacher of the Year for their campus and even for our district. Each of these educators displays a high level of commitment to students in the way they interact, plan meaningful lessons, and build a positive culture in their unique learning environments. I will be asking each principal to come forward to speak about their Teacher of the Year, and will ask the Teacher of the Year to come up to the stage for their award. We will begin with Bel Air Elementary. Carrie Moore, Teacher of the Year, if you would come forward. Following that, we will be moving to Farah Elementary. Right now, Dr. Epley.
I'm excited to have the opportunity to recognize Ms. Carrie Moore as Bel Air's 2020-2021 Teacher of the Year. Ms. Moore is an extremely gifted kindergarten teacher. She takes time to build relationships with her students as well as the parents, which I think is a vital piece to school in general, but especially in kindergarten as they're coming for the first time. These relationships greatly contribute to her success in the classroom. I've observed that Ms. Moore excels in differentiating instruction to meet her students' needs, not only academically, but also socially and emotionally. Finally, the 2020-2021 school year has provided our teachers with many unique opportunities and challenges. Each person in our school has been faced with these challenges in some capacity. Ms. Moore is no different, and she's persevered. Ms. Moore's leadership has been on full display throughout the school year, and I'm very thankful she's a Bel Air B.
All right,
Dr. Sid Hill and Amy Johnson will be presenting certificates and checks. It's up for grabs. Up for grabs.
Travis wants you to get check.
All right, congratulations. And next, we will welcome to the stage Teacher of the Year from Farah Elementary, Mona Montoy. Mrs. Edens will be sharing about her Teacher of the Year.
Hello, it's my privilege to introduce Mona Montoy to you. Mona has been an educator for 24 years, and 20 of those years have been spent at Farah Elementary. So she knows that school backwards, forwards, inside and out. Mona has taught mainly 4th and 5th graders. She has degrees up to her licensure, up to administration licensure. She does all kinds of things around the school. I mean, she does just about anything. When we talk about flexibility, I'll tell you what this lady did this year. It was amazing. She came to me last year after teaching several years in 4th grade ELA and just said, you know, I'd kind of like a change. If it'll work for you, I'd be good with a change of subjects. I said, okay. So we started the school year thinking she was going to be teaching, and Mona, you correct me if I'm wrong, thinking she was going to be teaching 4th grade math. And she did that for a little while, then this thing called the pandemic was going on, and we suddenly had all of this hybrid learning that happened. And so suddenly we were in a position where we needed someone to teach virtually. And of course, the panic button set in with a lot of folks. So I basically went to 4th grade and said, guys, we got to have somebody do this. So Mona came to me, she said, I'll volunteer, I'll do it. And she said, I really don't want to, but I'm doing it because the others don't want to, and I want to protect them. I said, okay, that's teamwork. So Mona took on 4th grade virtual learning, and she taught the students from Jack T. Farrah and Bel Air because we joined together. Well, it wasn't long before she did such a good job that she was very successful at explaining the importance of education and getting students back in the school. So her numbers started dwindling down. Well, as you know, with virtual learning, when virtual students started dwindling down, traditional numbers started going up. And suddenly we found ourselves in a pickle in 5th grade. In 5th grade, our numbers were just going out the roof. So on one dreary day, I went to Mona and I said, Mona, how would you feel about going to 5th grade? She said, oh, I'll go, no problem. So this lady truly this year has taught 4th grade math. She transitioned over to 4th grade virtual learning, all subjects for 2 schools, and then transferred over to 5th grade science and social studies, and has done it with an amazing attitude. I mean, everybody's been so grateful. So when the Teacher of the Year was voted on, I don't think there was any doubt in folks' mind who deserved that award this year, and it's certainly Mona. I asked her about her philosophy, and she said she believes that all students are unique and have something special that they can bring to their education. All she wants is for her students, every student that she encounters will accept and respect differences, face their challenges, and ask questions, and she's there for them. So I present to you Mona Montoy. She's done a fantastic job for Fair Elementary School. Thank you, Mona.
We have it down.
All right, congratulations. Next, we would like to welcome Mrs. Emily Judkins from Robert E. Lee Elementary, and Mrs. Gilbert will come forward to share with us about her Teacher of the Year.
This is such a privilege to be up here tonight. And before I start, I just want to say congratulations to all of our Teachers of the Year and to the families that are here. We are better because of you. Tullahoma City Schools is better because of you rock stars. And our children are so fortunate to be blessed to have you every day working with them. So it's a privilege for me to be here tonight and to tell you a little bit about Emily Judkins, our Teacher of the Year. And I can say so many wonderful things, but I'm going to keep it short and just capture a few of those. So first of all, Emily is a 3rd grade teacher this year, and last year was one of our 1st grade teachers. And so when I asked her about, I put it out there and just said, is there somebody that would be interested in a move? This is the heart that Emily has, and that is wherever you need me, whatever you need me to do. So she joined the 3rd grade team, and then we also know all the challenges with this year, but that team has just rocked it. And so if I were to ask her team members, the first thing I think they would say is that she is a team player. She is a team member, but she is regarded highly and respected by all her colleagues. They all look up to her because of her sweet, quiet demeanor. So I want to share just something that really resonates with me about Emily, and that is her passion for students. Emily has this connection. And when those students walk in her door, she figures out just what they need because she takes the time to build a relationship with them. She gets to know them. She takes the time to bond with them. She looks at where they are, and then she moves them forward socially, emotionally, and academically. We had some challenging students, and she showed just an amazing ability to work with them. And I'll tell you a story about one that's just really brief. And if you knew the whole story, it would really touch your heart like it did mine. But Emily took the time to really get to know this student and work with them. And in a very short amount of time, we saw tremendous success because of the relationship she built. We came after Christmas, we were back, and we were out there greeting the students and looking and, hey, welcome back, welcome back. This child went right by me. And the first question was, where's Miss Judkins? Where's Miss Judkins? Is she here? That told me volumes. It was important for that child to have his teacher, Miss Emily Judkins. And that's just one of the many stories. I'm sorry. So I just want to tell you, it's just an honor and privilege to be here tonight and to be able to say that Emily Judkins is our Robert E. Lee Teacher of the Year. Thank you, Emily.
And next, we will welcome Tim Barendorf from West Middle School. Ms. Herrera will come forward and share with us about her Teacher of the Year. It's great hearing all of these stories and accolades.
Well, as Tim is coming to the stage, I do want to congratulate all the Teachers of the Year. I'm probably the most blessed educator in the room because I've had the opportunity, I think, to work with every Teacher of the Year except for two. And I know they're amazing people, but they're also amazing teachers, so I'm congratulating all of them. We have Tim Barendorf from West Middle School. I'm blessed to work with him. He's an amazing teacher, but he's an amazing man. When he came to Tullahoma, I think maybe 9 years ago, my classroom was right across from the office, and he knocked on my door, and I thought, I know why he's here. He is applying for the math position slash the assistant basketball coach. So we have known each other off and on for the last 9 years. He took a year to go back to Australia. And when I found out that he might be coming back to the United States, to Tullahoma, I sought out. I said, if you need a math position, we would love to have you at West Middle School. One thing that I want to say about Tim, and I'm thankful to work with him, he actually builds an amazing culture at our building, and it's a quiet culture in the fact that he steers not only students, but he steers staff in such a positive direction that West Middle School is just a better place because of Tim Barendorf. Not only does he build the positive culture in the hallway with the kids love, coming up and giving the high fives, jumping up to try to get his hand, but they enjoy just talking to him about life events, sporting events. He's able to hold a great conversation with all the kids, and the kids highly respect him. The other thing that is really amazing to sit back and watch about Tim is that he has always taken the initiative when he sees a need. He just jumps in. Like I said, he's this quiet leader. This year when we came back in the fall, I think a lot of our staff was overwhelmed, and you could see him steering the entire 8th grade hallway in every ounce of things that we needed to get finished. And so I will tell you, on our 8th grade hallway, there was some nervousness about virtual. And he not only set up virtual classroom, he gave them some practice class activities to do virtually. So he not not only impacted the hallway by helping us get it taped down and getting the desks situated, he actually had little mini sessions throughout the first week of in-service to teach teachers how to use a virtual classroom and activities to do that. So as you see, he's not just all talk, he's much on the actions. The other thing that I wanted to just say about Tim, and it's been an amazing time at West Middle School, is that he impacts not only our math, but he also affects our technology. He teaches 8th grade math at West Middle School, and he actually teaches 2 different levels, but it kind of steered out to 3. He teaches our advanced math, and he also teaches our inclusion class. So that's 2, extreme areas. One thing that he also has impacted West over the last few years, we have a math team at East and West, and we have amazing teachers at East too, but the children actually have him for the advanced math, and then we have math team. This year he could have done math team, but because he was coaching basketball and coaching track, he passed that off. But I know that his influence in the classroom is what drove our scores up at math competitions. With that being said, he's an amazing coach. He teaches great sportsmanship on the court. Now he's our track coach, and I just want to give a little shout out that this year he was assistant to Coach Cole, but he also has coached 6th grade and JV, and our boys basketball team under the leadership of not only Coach Berendorf and Coach Cole, they won first in our district and also in the tournament. Last night, just to give a little shout out, Coach Berendorf is the assistant coach to Coach Sewell, who's actually from Farah, and we have 5 kids going to state track meets. So you can see that he's involved in many aspects of West Middle School. Like I said, he's a great teacher, he's a great mentor, he's a great example, but he's a great man around West Middle School, and I'm thankful that so many young men get to see him as a mentor. So thank you, Coach Berendorf, for all that you do for West Middle School.
All right, and we're going to continue our celebration and move to Tullahoma High School and welcome Allison Brown. Tullahoma High School has 3 Teachers of the Year. Mr. Quick will come forward, and he will share with us first about Allison Brown.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you our first Teacher of the Year, Miss Allison Brown. This year's been a challenging year for a lot of us. The pandemic, virtual, all of those things that we weren't prepared for. But it takes special people in order to get us through those tough times. And I want to tell you that Miss Brown has done an incredible job this year. She's done every year. This year, we had a teacher, a colleague of hers, a Spanish teacher who was unable to come into the building. She had some health issues and whatnot. I watched Miss Brown basically take on the assignment of 2 teachers. She taught not only her classes, but she also worked on creating lesson plans, assessments, all of the things necessary to teach the other class. You know how hard it is to teach one class in a traditional setting? She did it for 2 with a hybrid setting. In front of you also is Miss Brown. She's a model of consistency. We're all running around and going, oh, what are we going to do? And how do we fix this? She's the only one that didn't run around. She was very calm. And she used her years of experience, her knowledge, her expertise in order to guide a lot of our people into how to reach the children during this difficult time. I've watched throughout this year, students go in and out of her classroom. I've watched the relationships that she's been able to build with those students and her colleagues in the hallway. Always quick with a smile, always good with a positive thought. If you're having a bad day, just go by her room. She's going to pick you up and you're going to be smiling by the time you leave. So I want to introduce to you Miss Allison Brown, one of our Teachers of the Year.
All right, and now Dr. Renee Flowers, another Tullahoma High School Teacher of the Year, if you will come forward. Dr. Flowers. And Mr. Quick, you get to share again about another Teacher of the Year.
As Dr. Flowers is coming forward, for those of you that are not aware of how the Teacher of the Year is selected, it's by the colleagues. And I think that is extremely valuable and important that her peers, as well as Ms. Brown's and our next Teacher of the Year, this is how their peers see them, as above and beyond the call of duty. In front of you is Dr. Renee Flowers. An educator teaches children, but also teaches adults. And I've been one of Ms. Flowers' biggest students this year. Ms. Flowers oversees our T-LITE program. Our T-LITE program is for incoming freshman students who have shown that they are challenged in the school setting for various reasons. It's not just academic. There could be social, emotional, there could be networking, socioeconomic issues that for whatever reason, they are just not progressing at the level they need to. Those students are then assigned to Ms. Flowers, and Ms. Flowers has done a phenomenal job. She has taken these students and develop relationships with them that go deeper than anything I've ever seen in my time in education. She understands how to find the button, so to speak, that motivates them to want to do better. First thing that she does, though, is she instills self-confidence into them, making sure they realize that when they come here, the slate's clean and they have the ability to be whoever they want to be and succeed at the level that they want to. She does so by creating those relationships, but then she also has an unbelievable analytical mind, and she will pull up spreadsheets and data charts that just, I can't understand them. So she'll dummy it down for me. But what she can do is she can take the data, and then she can do something unusual that I've never seen somebody be able to do to this level. She can then take the numbers and turn them into words, and turn those words into actions, those actions into opportunities for these kids to learn. And she has had 15, 17 students this year. Over the course of time, she works with these students to integrate them back into the classroom, back into the hallways. That's who Dr. Flowers is. She has had an impact on these students that they'll never forget. And we all have that one teacher that always has had that impact. I can almost guarantee you that she's going to be that teacher for every student that she comes involved with at T-LITE. She is an educator, but she's also a learner. She just completed her doctorate degree at the University of the Cumberlands. So she is now officially Dr. Renee Flowers, and she is one of our Teachers of the Year. Congratulations.
And now we will welcome our third Teacher of the Year from Tullahoma High School, Mr. Justin Scott. Mr. Scott is also a District Teacher of the Year. He is the high school winner and representative of our district. And following Mr. Quick's presentation, Mr. Henry with the Tullahoma Education Foundation will come forward and make a presentation to Mr. Scott, one of our District Teachers of the Year as well.
So for those of you that are not aware, this is Mr. Justin Scott. He is the director of our band program here at the high school. But not only does he have a large impact here at the high school, but he also could probably be a Teacher of the Year at the middle schools, where he also is involved with their band programs as well. Mr. Scott is an amazing educator. He is an amazing man of detail, and he has created relationships with a classroom of 130 students. Now, how many of you teachers have a hard time getting your kids to line up at in the hallway? He does it on Friday nights, and he has everybody in their own spot on the football field, and he has them performing at the highest of expectations and the highest of excellence. One of the things that Mr. Scott has done a very fine job of this year is also helping us from a school perspective on how do we coordinate certain activities, how do we coordinate certain events. It's so easy when we have a pandemic where we could say, well, we just can't do this. I don't know how we're going to do this. Then the first question is, has anybody asked Justin? And so we'll bring Justin in, and it could be something totally non-band related, but he has an ability to see things for what they can be. And he has that way with his children, with the students and the children that he deals with as well. I've seen this man work with students, and I see him as a missionary. And the mission that he has is to impact children. And he's using music in order to do so. When he walks the hallways, you can't help but smile because he's always going to smile with you. And the students are going to respond to that smile as well as the colleagues and his peers here in the school. And for those of you that have seen our band perform, I'll put our band up against any band I've ever seen. And I've said that, and we've had this program and this excellence in this program for so many years. He has done not only a great job, but he's taken it to the next level. And he will not rest until we reach the highest of level, which we'll never reach. And that's okay, but he's going to keep pushing. So he has a sphere of influence of 130 people in our school. He has a sphere of influence over the middle schools as well. But he also has that in the colleagues that he deals with every day. I hope you know how much you mean to our school, the culture of our school, our program, and to the students that you serve. I really appreciate everything that you do. This is Mr. Justin Scott.
And Mr. Henry? And Mr. Scott, if you'll stand here for just one moment.
Sorry to make you wait just for a second, but I want to say that I'm here with Jim Woodard. You're supposed to come up here. This was on behalf of the Tullahoma Education Foundation. Most of you know, but the Tullahoma Educational Foundation was founded this year, a third of a century ago, by some concerned citizens that wanted to do something to help the school provide for excellence in teaching above and beyond that which could be afforded by the taxpayers and the school board. Over the years, we've raised money. In case you're wondering, we're still raising money. But what we like to do with the money, we basically spend it in three different ways. One, we do grants to the individual schools for various projects they select for us. One is we give scholarships to graduating seniors to help them aspire to something and be able to perform after they leave here. And the third is to realize that you can't achieve excellence in your students without excellence in your teachers. And so what we do every year is we have the system selects for us a system-wide at each level, one for elementary school, one for middle school, one for the high school, to represent that excellence in teaching, which in our view helps advance excellence in education. Just a couple of quick numbers. As of a meeting we had last night, at which point in time this gentleman became the new president, so he really will be doing this. We have given out, or will give out by this May, almost two-thirds of $1 million to the school tour for the benefit of the school system. Out of that sum, including tonight, we'll have given over $75,000 to teachers of the school system. So we're really glad that y'all have helped us, put us in a position to be able to do this. Now, enough about us. Justin, we appreciate all that you've done, and you are excellence in education. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're honest.
And now I would like to welcome Mr. Dan Lynch forward. He is Teacher of the Year at East Middle School. Dr. Woody Dillahay will be talking with us about his Teacher of the Year. Mr. Lynch is also our district middle school Teacher of the Year. So Mr. Henry will come back in just a moment to present to him as well.
All right. Now, Mr. Lynch has promised us a little dance when he got up here, but we'll jazz or tap.
I'm thinking tap.
So before I get started, when I think of Mr. Lynch, he's just one of the good guys. And that's the feeling you get when you're around Mr. Lynch, when you get the opportunity to walk through his classroom or see him driving down the road, you just think, man, that's one of the good guys. Dan lives in Tullahoma with his wife Stacy and their two daughters, Abby and Maggie, and they're in the back. Dan graduated with a bachelor's degree from the University of Tennessee and earned a master's degree from Mercer University. He began his teaching career in 1995 in Atlanta, with stops in Nashville and Flintville prior to coming to Tullahoma in 2006. Dan started the Tullahoma Middle School volleyball program 3 years ago and was recently named head volleyball coach for Tullahoma High School. When you ask Dan what he loves about teaching, he says the aha moments, the light bulb moments when the students get it. Dan is an overachiever. He works tirelessly to provide the best experience for his students. Outside of school, he loves watching sports, especially the ones in the beautiful orange uniforms. Dan is proud of his two daughters and their accomplishments, and he's thankful for how Tullahoma City Schools has contributed to their success. Dan was named East Middle School Teacher of the Year and also Tullahoma City School District Teacher of the Year. It is a pleasure to watch Dan teach. He's simply effective, entertaining, and passionate about what he does. I'm blessed to work with many wonderful educators, and Dan certainly fits that bill. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Dan Lynch.
And Mr. Henry.
Well, Daniel, you don't have to stand there as long because I've already given my speech, but I do want you to know that we really appreciate all that you do. And as I said before, you can't achieve excellence in your students without excellence in teachers. And so on behalf of the Tullahoma Educational Foundation for Excellence, I'd like to present you with this check and appreciate all that you've done. Thank you very much.
And to close out our evening celebrating Teachers of the Year, I would like to welcome Michelle Wilcox to the stage, East Lincoln Elementary Teacher of the Year, and she is also the District Elementary Teacher of the Year. We're very excited to welcome her, and Mr. Hargrove will be sharing some wonderful words about Ms. Wilcox.
Wow. Wow, what an dadgum all-star team of educators. Congratulations to all the Teacher of the Year winners. You guys do a great job in your impact. And to me, there's no greater compliment than being recognized by your peers. Congratulations to you all. I'd like to introduce Miss Michelle Wilcox. She is, this is her 40. She's been doing this a while. And she came to Tullahoma City Schools in 1999. And she worked as a classroom teacher in Bel Air Elementary School. She's also served as in our tech department. And she currently is in charge of our RTI department and is a reading coach at East Lincoln. I kind of wanted to go off the beaten path here a little bit, and you're voted, each of one of you were voted by your peers, and I asked a group of teachers, and I got to half of them before a word was repeated. I asked each one of her peers to come up with one word to describe Michelle, and it took 20-something to get there before there was one repeated. Humble. Caring, diligent, extraordinary, wise, dynamic, honorable, brilliant, enthusiastic, dedicated, my favorite one here, fantabulous, supportive, exemplary, super, marvelous, magnificent, remarkable, superlative, outstanding. Wow. I want to shoot my bullets because this is her last school year with us. But thank you, Michelle. Thank you for your dedication and your willingness to go above and beyond to make a positive impact with our young learners. And it sure has been an honor to serve beside you. Thank you, Michelle Wilcox.
All right, and we are now going to welcome Mr. Woodard. Ms. Wilcox, you got to wait. You're not
You gotta
through.
wait.
Look at the new president is coming forward. He's got it.
Michelle, maybe we could try to double this if we could keep you on staff. He said this might be your
Oh.
last year. I don't know, but again, congratulations to you, and what a great honor. Again, on behalf of the Tullahoma Educational Foundation and the members that we have, we're grateful to your leadership in the classrooms and also in the community. And there's a little check for $1,000. So there you go. Thank you.
What a great night to celebrate Teachers of the Year. One more time, let us give a round of applause to our Teachers of the Year. You all are rock stars.
Thank you all so much for everything. And the Teachers of the Year and your families, if we would love to have you stay for the meeting, but if you feel like it would be best for you to move on, please feel free to head on out. We totally understand. Moving on to Holland Scholarship Awards, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, I was very excited to participate for the first time as a member of the Holland Scholarship Award Committee. Reading over the 24 first-time applicants and the 10 applicants for renewal was a wonderful way to get to know and see the amazing talent of our current and former THS students. I would like to acknowledge once again, although I think he may have exited, Mr. Jim Henry from the Tullahoma Foundation, who is a major player in this event. The committee for the Holland Scholarship Award met on April 13th and awarded $24,000 to students from Tullahoma High School. This scholarship, by the way, was created in 1978 by a trust fund of $400,000 established by John I. Holland. In anticipation of this award, a total of $1,159,800 has been awarded in total to Tullahoma High School graduates over the years. Award information is to be kept confidential until notification of award recipients on Senior Awards Night to be held May 4th. Administration recommends accepting the 21-22 Holland Scholarships Awards as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the 2021-22 Holland Scholarship Awards as presented?
So moved, Sid Hill.
So moved by Sid Hill. A second?
Second, Pat Welch.
Second by Pat Welsh. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? All in favor. Thank you so much. And we will definitely keep those under wraps until the celebration on May 4th. And now another celebration.
Yes, we are all about celebrating, which is something that we absolutely love to do, whether it's Holland Scholarship Award recipients or Teachers of the Year. We have already celebrated some outstanding students and employees, and we're just not done yet. Virtual meetings have kept us from fully celebrating staff and students as they deserve. We look forward to recognizing some more of our talented team members tonight. I want to start with one of our students, and that is Mr. Austin Hogan. Now come on down, and you'll come forward and stand on the stage here this evening, and it's with great pleasure that I welcome Austin. He's a student in Mr. Randy Edwards' Architectural and Engineering Design Program, commonly called CAD. Austin was the first, let me say that again, the first to earn an Autodesk Inventor Industry certification.
So,
he is leading the way for 9 other students who plan to complete their certification this spring. This certification demonstrates entry-level CAD knowledge that includes creating, modifying, formatting, and sharing 2D sketches, creating parts, viewing and animating assemblies, creating presentations, and drawings. This certification proves foundational CAD skills to a potential employer. What an amazing accomplishment for this high school student. Congratulations to Austin. An undefeated football season at the end of regular season, ranked second in Region 4A at the end of the regular season, Region 4A champions, and being named the 2021 TSSAA Region Coach of the Year. Of course, we are celebrating someone spectacular, and that is Coach John Olive. Come forward.
congratulations.
Yes. We're Region 5 now. Hello. We were 4 then.
You know, it all changes, all. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It was correct. Big kudos are going out to 3 educators who brought a new Tennessee pathway to Tullahoma High School. In February, we were notified that Tullahoma High School had received the Tennessee Pathway Certification in Welding. Hard work and lots of effort put forth by the THS CTE Director, Dr. Sherry Zimmerman, welding instructor Jerry Green, and THS guidance counselor Jesse Kinsey made this certification achievement possible. We are one of 51 districts that earned Tennessee Pathways certification for creating post-secondary opportunities this year. I would like to welcome these 3 tremendous educators. Congratulations once again to Dr. Zimmerman, Mr. Green, and Ms. Kinsey. Come on up. Congratulations, y'all. And Dr. Greg English, make your way forward. He has proven to be an exceptional assistant principal at the high school. While we all know that, it was not lost on the Tennessee Association of Secondary School Principals. Dr. English was named the Middle Tennessee Assistant Principal of the Year and the Tennessee Assistant Principal of the Year. So he is representing our state as the assistant principal winner. It is wonderful to be with Dr. English. It was wonderful to be with Dr. English when he was recognized by the association, but it is even more special this evening for us to celebrate our very own. We are so proud of this Tullahoma City Schools leader, who, by the way, was recently named the first ever virtual director for Tullahoma City Schools. All right. I think that wraps it up for the moment. There's more to
great
come.
celebrations.
Stay
Yes,
tuned.
yes. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
So
Amy.
moved by Amy Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second, Sid Hill.
Second by Sid Hill. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Great, thank you so much. Unfinished business. Moving on.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Could we recess for just a second, restroom break?
Sure. Can I have a motion to have a 5-minute?
I think you made the motion.
A motion by Pat Welsh. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Johnson. Is there any discussion?
I don't think so.
No. All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Good.
Okay.
Take the break. Excellent. We'll be back in 5 minutes. It is. It's Wednesday. Okay.
All right.
We are back. Great. Okay, we're in unfinished business now. Budget expenditure approval. Mr. Ray.
Thank you. We included in this year's budget the replacement of 3 rooftop HVAC units at Fair Elementary. We budgeted $40,000 for the units and the related parts, with TCS Maintenance Department completing this replacement. We have obtained pricing from 2 vendors for these units. United Refrigeration's pricing was $25,842.96. The roof curbs needed to complete the installation were quoted by United Refrigeration at $5,160 and freight at $1,600. This is a total cost from United Refrigeration of $32,602.96. The second vendor's pricing for the units was $26,718.57. The roofing curbs are not available from this vendor and would need to be purchased from another source. Due to that, I recommend the purchase of these 3 units and the necessary roof curbs from United Refrigeration at a total cost of $32,602.96. Chairperson Usleton.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the bid from United Refrigeration for 3 HVAC units and necessary roof curbs for Jack T. Farrah Elementary at the price of $32,602.96?
So moved, Pat Welch.
Motion by Pat Welsh. Is there a second?
Second, Sid Hill.
Second by Sid Hill. Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Thank you so much. Moving on to budget. Mr. Ray.
Thank you again. We continue to anxiously await word from the state on the first BEP estimate for next fiscal year, hoping to have that number this week. Additionally, we have been in discussion with city personnel related to their sales tax revenue estimates so that we will ensure that we're in line with their anticipated revenue, and we have included that in our draft to this point. I believe Dr. Stevens has additional items that she'd like to discuss related to next year's budget.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ray. Dr. Stevens.
Yes, per board policy 5.116, when a new position is added, board members must be provided a job description, the qualifications necessary, and professional responsibilities, the essential duties and/or responsibilities of the role. We are requesting that a new position be added for the upcoming 21-22 school year. This position is a district-wide communications specialist. The communications specialist coordinates and promotes positive communications with students, families, teachers and staff, media, the board, and the community regarding issues that impact the district. This position will support the district with strong written skills, public relations, media relations, community outreach, and strategies for identifying, capturing, and sharing the stories of Tullahoma City Schools. You have been provided a job description that details the qualifications necessary, essential duties, and/or other responsibilities. The communication specialist will be on a 261-day contract and will be evaluated annually by the director of schools. So that's one new position. In addition to the new position, we are requesting 3 other positions to be added to the 21-22 school year. While these positions are not new, meaning there are other positions like this across the district, they are an additional FTE, full-time equivalent, to our 21-22 budget. We believe it necessary to add the following positions: administrative assistant to the maintenance department, middle school assistant principal, and board certified behavior analyst, or BCBA. Each of these positions is needed. Caseload for the current BCBA has risen dramatically as the needs of our students have changed. In addition to knowing the numbers of students being served and those in need, I have heard directly from teachers in the field that this additional support is needed. In terms of the middle school assistant principal, it has been very clear to me from the onset of my time in Tullahoma City Schools that each middle school has a need for one full-time assistant principal. It is extremely difficult to split an assistant principal between these 2 large campuses with unique needs across town from one another. Teachers and administrators acknowledge this need is vital to the success of these 2 middle-level campuses. I do want to acknowledge the incredible work that all the administrators and our current assistant principal has done in conjunction with the principals at both sites. Having a second middle school assistant principal is the next right step administratively. And our maintenance department has not had an administrative assistant to help coordinate the day-to-day operations, monitoring calls, managing materials requests, maintaining current inventory of materials, ensuring orders are occurring in a timely fashion, etc. Adding this needed position will enable the supervisor of maintenance and all maintenance staff to be able to focus on the important work that they are credentialed and certified to perform. These 4 positions, 1 new and 3 that are existing in the district, are going to be in the 21-22 general purpose budget. The Finance Committee has met and acknowledges that these expenditures will fit into the proposed budget. To ensure we get the highest quality candidates for each of these positions, we are requesting approval to post these positions in advance of budget approval. With your approval this evening, we can post the jobs, screen and interview candidates, make recommendations, and be ready for the 21-22 school year with these new team members ready to go. Administration recommends approval of 4 additional positions for the 2021-22 school year to be posted.
Thank you. Do I have a recommendation, a motion to recommend the administration Approval of budget of 4 additional positions for the 21-22 school year.
So moved, Sid Hill.
Motion made by Sid Hill. Is there a second?
Second, Amy Johnson.
Second by Amy Johnson. Any discussion?
I just would like to double up saying that the Finance Committee felt like it was very appropriate to do this. The budget that presently right now will support this.
Yes, I agree. There's been much consideration and much discussion of this, and we feel confident in that. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Great, thank you so much. Very good. Okay, policy recommendation, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, administration has presented revisions to 2 board policies. The first one is 5.310, vacations and holidays. The other is policy 1407, which is school district records. These have been provided to you in 2 separate attachments. Updates to policy 5.310 have been made to provide clarity on vacation and holiday leave. And the changes to policy 1.407 brings this policy up to date and aligns it with Tennessee Code Annotated. These changes are recommended for board approval. The administration recommends accepting the updates to board policies 5.310 and 1.407 on a first and final reading.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept policy number 5.310 and policy 1.407 as stated, to update them.
On a first and final reading.
On a first and final reading.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Amy Johnson. Is there a second?
Second, Pat Welch.
Good. Second by Pat Welch. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing that there's none, we will vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That's all in favor.
Thank you. Motion passes. Excellent. We are moving on to Building and Grounds Report. Pat Welsh.
The Building and Grounds Committee met a week ago today and reviewed the facility assessment by Orcott, the architectural firm of Orcott and Winslow. And the highlights from that are in our discussion. One of the main highlights to me was that the architectural firm said that our buildings have been well maintained. And is Tim Jensen here tonight? If not, Ms. Vaughn, I'd like you to sprinkle across the minutes some appropriate recognition that we've got buildings that are 70 years plus old, and an architectural firm has recognized that they've been well maintained, which is a credit to him and his staff. Our main problem with the assessment is that our buildings are old, and the 2 that are in best condition are our newest, West Middle and East Lincoln. The building with most need is THS, which would have gone online in, I believe, the 57-58 school year. And also there's some needs updating at Fair Elementary and at East Middle, which were both built in the 70s during a time period where open classrooms were in vogue. The problem with both of them now is that they both need to be converted to a modern self-contained classroom layout. Our Mr. Ray and Dr. Stevens both will meet with Ms. Wilson, the Tullahoma's finance director, and Ms. Moody, the city administrator, on May the 3rd to begin to assess how much the sales tax sinking fund what debt it will serve and at what times. When that's accomplished, with the Building Grounds Committee will have a whole lot better chance of deciding which way to pursue, which ways and methods to pursue. We do feel that one of the main immediate needs, and according to the firm, is that we need outside air ventilation involved with our HVAC systems. In all 5 of the older schools, that's not presently possible. And Dr. Stevens feels comfortable that the ESSER 2.0 and 3.0 monies will accomplish those needs. And the only other thing I think that we need to recognize is from the last meeting is that all the parking lots that were on the list to be sealed this year, Bel Air, Farrah, and Lee Elementary, there's some idea that we may not be able to get them done until the summer, but they all have been done. And I would invite you to go by and look at each one of them.
They look great.
They did a nice job.
Yeah.
Now, is there any questions? No report. Thank you, Ms. Usleton.
Thank you. Really, really good meeting last week with Orcutt Winslow. Really, really great information. A lot to take in, and we look forward to moving forward. Thank you so much. The CIA report, the curriculum instruction and assessment, is going to be given by Sid Hill tonight.
I'm filling in for the great Jessica Foley. All right. The Curriculum Instruction Assessment Committee, facilitated by Dr. Stevens and Ms. Fanning, began at 3:15 on March 31st at Central Office. The agenda for the meeting consisted of the following: a presentation on the difference between a virtual program and a virtual school, information pertaining to other virtual schools in the surrounding counties, results from the TCS Virtual Learning Survey, and the next steps in TCS offering a virtual learning option for high school students in the upcoming fall, that being fall 2021. Dr. Stevens spoke with Dr. Sarah Morrison, Executive Director of the State Board of Education, to discuss the current requirements and rules for virtual programs in schools. Additionally, Dr. Stevens and Ms. Fanning spoke with Judy Spencer at the Tennessee Department of Education about virtual programs in schools as well. In a strategic effort to better understand virtual learning options, Dr. Stevens and other selected representatives from the system, including our very own Board Chair Usleton, visit Putnam County schools, as it is recognized having a successful virtual program for several years. This in-person meeting allowed for TCS team members to ask questions about the virtual school, see options firsthand, and to present TCS's strategic plans moving forward with virtual learning options. During this meeting, Dr. Stevens was able to confirm that it would be best for TCS to begin this process by starting with a select number of high school students that would participate in both virtual learning and some form of weekly contact with a school representative. Dr. Stevens also stated that further communication with other systems offering virtual schools confirmed that TCS's plan was headed in the right direction. Upon communicating with the other colleagues, it was decided that TCS would apply to have a virtual program and a virtual school. To create a virtual school, TCS will have to complete a multi-page application in hopes of being approved and being given a school ID number. By providing these two options, the system is expanding individualized learning opportunities to students. This allows students to participate in the hybrid model of virtual learning, accompanied with on-ground, in-person, as well as provide other students with primarily online learning. Both forms of instruction will allow students to have an in-person, engaging opportunity with a teacher. The meeting concluded with Dr. Stevens providing results from the TCS Virtual Learning Survey and providing a detailed overview of the system's next steps in the development of virtual learning options in the future. The TCS Virtual Learning Survey was available for any 8th through 11th grade parent of an East Middle School, West Middle School, and Tullahoma High School student who was learning remotely for a majority of the school year, at least more than 75 days. There were a total of 62 respondents, with 91.94% of the total respondents being a parent of a THS student. The survey provided data on the parents' perception on the benefits and challenges of their students' virtual learning experience. Based upon the data, a majority of the parents perceived that the recorded lessons, online presentations, and assignments were extremely effective in their child's learning experience. Individual responses from the parents also provided insight on the challenges of the virtual learning experience, which included but were not limited to the following: lack of peer interaction, technical issues pertaining to assignments, submissions, and difficulties navigating various online digital instructional platforms. This data provided insight for Dr. Stevens and the TCS curriculum leaders as the system moves forward in developing a comprehensive, high-quality virtual program. To this end, the system is in the process of seeking a director of virtual learning, which we can now say is Dr. English, to get this program off the ground. This position is critical to the development of both programs and will be instrumental in ensuring that both programs are in compliance with state requirements and rules, engage parents in the online learning process, and provide online technical assistance to each participant for each program. We look forward to the next steps associated with the future of virtual learning and ultimately expanding these offerings over time in line with other strategic plans. Are there any further questions? Or any questions at all?
That was a great report.
Yeah.
So that is a lot.
Well, I was voluntold by the superintendent to do it, so.
Great report and so many exciting things coming up. We're really, really looking forward to the next steps and really looking forward to hearing from Dr. English soon. Not tonight, Dr. English. Thank you so much, Dr. Hill. Teacher tenure, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, this is another exciting element of tonight's gathering. This evening, we will be recommending 17 educators for tenure. Awesome. As a reminder, to be eligible for tenure, an educator must have a degree from an approved 4-year college and be licensed by the state of Tennessee. This license is based on preparation and training covering specific subjects, grades, and/or areas of expertise. They must have completed a probationary period of 5 years or not less than 45 months and have received evaluations demonstrating an overall effectiveness level of above expectations, reflected typically as a score of 4, or significantly above expectations, reflected as a score of 5 during the last 2 years of their probationary period. Once an educator is eligible for tenure, he or she shall either be recommended by the Director of Schools for tenure or non-renewed. If tenure is denied by the board, the educator shall be dismissed. The following educators are recommended for tenure. A supervisor will be sharing a bit about each of them prior to administration recommending them for board approval. And so once again, I will be asking individuals to come to the microphone to talk about the educators they are here to share about. First, I'll ask Ms. Fanning to talk about our district-wide position, and that is our instructional coach, Jennifer Ray.
It is my honor tonight to tell you a little bit about Jennifer Ray. Jennifer Ray has served Tullahoma City Schools for many years as a teacher and 1 year as an instructional coach. She has unquestionable character, a heart for service, an incredible wealth of knowledge and expertise for teaching and learning, and a tireless commitment to serving our students and teachers. Mrs. Ray is a person of action. She is able to easily work with others to determine areas of need and then develop and implement a successful action plan. This is true in the classroom and in her role as an instructional coach. It is my belief that teachers serve as our greatest role models to students, and our students deserve nothing but the best. Without hesitation, I can say Mrs. Ray is an incredible role model to children and adults of all ages.
Thank you very much. And I am going to now share and speak about another educator that we are certainly going to recommend for tenure, and that is Mary Gilbert, principal at Robert E. Lee Elementary. It's an absolute pleasure that I present Robert E. Lee Principal Mary Gilbert to you with a recommendation for tenure. Mrs. Gilbert leads teachers and students at Robert E. Lee Elementary with care, compassion, and a set of very high expectations and standards. Mrs. Gilbert served Tullahoma City Schools from 1984 to 2014 as a music educator and school counselor. She left our school district to pursue an assistant principal role in a nearby district. We are very thankful she came back to us in 2019 to lead Robert E. Lee staff and students in the capacity of principal. As I have spent time with her this school year, I have gotten to know Mary extremely well. She leads with compassion, places students first in her decision-making, and has an exemplary understanding of instructional best practices. I am proud to recommend Mary Gilbert to you for tenure. Dr. Epley, if you will come forward and talk with us about the candidate you have for tenure this evening, Londa Isosaki. And if I mispronounce that, please let me know.
It is my privilege to stand and talk about Ms. Londa Isosaki tonight. I prepared a writing I'll read, and I'm going to share a little bit more. Londa is an extremely talented math teacher who cares deeply for her students. She excels at creating a respectful environment that is conducive for learning. Her ability to establish this environment is significantly benefited by all. She takes time to develop relationships with her students, and these relationships further influence her ability to assess and monitor her students' academic achievement throughout the year. She does this as she ensures they're progressing in a way she deems proficient. One thing I'd like to share about Londa is that she does a great job creating an environment where students are comfortable. I think that's important as our students grow and develop because they're comfortable sharing their thoughts and their opinions, and it helps develop their ability to think critically. In going with that, she's a great facilitator of discussions. Her questioning is really remarkable. And I was in there the other day, and not only did she have one great question, but follow up with other great questions. And because of her ability to create an environment that's conducive for learning, her students are comfortable responding to one another, which in turn leads to more learning and a better understanding for all. Ms. Isosaki is a great teacher, and I'm thankful she's a Bel Air B.
Thank you so much, Dr. Epley. And Mr. Hargrove, I'd like you to come forward. Mr. Hargrove has 3 educators that we will be recommending for tenure: Megan Farrell, Marissa Pena-Kelly, and Kelly Miner.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Miss Kelly Miner. Miss Kelly Miner started her journey at East Lincoln as an EA, and that was in the 2015-16 school year. The next year, she was hired as a lead teacher and is part of our VPK team. Kelly has worked very diligently the past 5 school years to improve and become a better leader in her classroom. She regularly uses her teaching experience and opportunities for growth and skill refinement. Ms. Miner is a valued part of our VPK team and is a major contributor to the team's success with students and parents alike. Kelly has taken the lead on publishing the weekly VPK parent newsletter. She's also attended Summer Training Institute to increase her knowledge of behavior management that helps with 4-year-olds. She also re-delivered that training to her team. I had a conversation with Kelly. Her comment that really stood out to me was, my students are my why. There's no greater joy than to watch a child master a skill, make a new friend, and grow in so many different levels. I recommend Miss Kelly Miner without hesitation. Miss Marissa Kelly Pena was hired in Tullahoma City Schools in the 2016-17 school year as an ELL, ESL, or whatever acronyms you can come up with. There are several titles there. Along with East Lincoln, Miss Kelly Pena has also served students at Robert E. Lee, Bel Air, and East Middle School as well. Marissa has provided outstanding instruction and support for our ESL students along with their families. And she brings so much value to our school and our system because she translates. She's in constant contact with our Spanish-speaking families, and it's worth her weight in gold there. She's enjoyed and delved into becoming part of a caring and dedicated faculty. Marissa stated that she enjoyed working with students and watching them grasp the English language and working with their families as well. I recommend Marissa Kelly Pena for tenure. Miss Megan Farrell also began her teaching or her career in education as an educational assistant in our RTI department at East Lincoln. The next year, she was hired as a third grade teacher. Miss Farrell has a wonderful rapport with the students and the faculty of East Lincoln. She has proven her ability to connect with third grade students and educating them in very creative and engaging fashion. Her confidence as a teacher has continued to grow year after year, and she is an excellent communicator, which is evident with her success in creating strong teacher-parent relations. She's a team player with her peers and in third grade and has a positive impact on the faculty as a whole. If there's something to be volunteered for in our school, Megan's got her hand up. It's been a pleasure watching Megan grow in the classroom and her ability to stretch our young learners academically, socially, and emotionally. I recommend Miss Megan Farrell for tenure.
Thank you very much. I'd
Thank
like
you.
to welcome Debbie Edens to the front. She also has an educator eligible for tenure, and that is Tammy Bush.
Thank you. Tammy has been with us 5 years. Tammy has 38 years experience. So she has lots of years of experience in education. She's a special educational teacher. She is a specialist in working with students with autism and with challenging behaviors. She has an unbelievable repertoire of skills. Very good at multitasking, very good at handling a million different things at one time, which if you know anything about special education, that is a quality you just have to have. She's taught everywhere from Virginia Beach to Florida to Tennessee and several school systems all around. And when Tammy moved here 5 years ago, I heard about her moving here and called her. I'd never met her in my life, but I just heard rumors she was coming. And, you know, that's the way you find good teachers. You hear about folks. So I called her and asked her to come in. She accepted the position. And so thrilled to have Tammy. She's been the teacher of the year in the systems she's been in. I think she's been teacher of the year like 3 times in different systems. So she's one that we want to hang on to. Don't know how long we're going to be able to hang on to her because she's at her 38th year, but she's still going strong right now. I did ask her about what she felt like was her greatest accomplishment, and she said, helping elementary students move out of special education and seeing former students that go to college and graduate. That's what she feels is most important, and it just thrills her soul as a special educator. So I highly recommend her for tenure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to welcome Mrs. Mary Gilbert forward. She has 3 educators that we will be recommending for tenure, and they are Ashley Gass, Courtney Harris, and Emily Judkins.
It is an honor to recommend all 3 of these outstanding educators. One of them you met tonight, which was Emily Judkins, and you know what still stands out to me is just her heart and her passion and her love, and she leads with compassion. And so, you know, we saw her tonight, and she had her children, and one of the comments she said, I may have to bring my little one up with me. I said, it'll be okay, because that's Emily. It's whoever and whatever child. Susan and I had opportunity, we went in her room, and just to give you another example of the level, we are so thankful to have the iReady reading and math and benchmark, and so we had gone into her classroom to do an observation, and the children were engaged. They were loving every minute of it. And she was kind of apologizing to us like that we might not see everything. Susan and I walked around, and there were students with a book club, and they were talking. And you know that kids get it when they're leading their groups. And they were engaged, asking questions. And the level of intensity was just incredible. And so I just tell you that Emily is that teacher that you aspire, and she's so respected by her colleagues. And as you see, she was voted Teacher of the Year. And so I highly recommend her for tenure, and we're thankful to have her in our district. The next person that I would like to share with you is just like Emily. Whenever we said, this was a challenging year, and who can step up and do virtual, who can help us? Courtney Harris. Courtney Harris said, I'm on. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do it, just like Emily did, changing grade levels. And so I thought about what stands out with Courtney. Again, so many things. Courtney is a second grade teacher. She was third grade last year, Robert E. Lee, and she continues to be that rock star that just is all in. Whatever it is, whether it's traditional or virtual, and I see Woody back there smiling because these are some of the young teachers that you were responsible for helping hire and bring to Robert E. Lee, right, Woody? And so then we look at, this was a challenging year as we journeyed through this pandemic. However, Courtney was always quick to offer that support and volunteer to take any additional responsibilities and to try innovative ideas to better meet the needs of our students. So much so that Courtney was honored by Channel 4 News as one of the classroom heroes. She was one that I would get emails from parents saying, we were so worried, we were so fearful. But this virtual experience, and I see a parent nodding her head out here right now, they just said, wow, this has been incredible to have a teacher like Courtney Harris. And so then it continues that she has this incredible love for her students, love for making that connection with the parents, for them to feel at peace and not to be as fearful. She also followed through with our meetup and buddy up with our SEL activities, just like third grade had done, making those connections, building those relationships. She's provided professional development. Last summer, she was with, I believe, Jennifer Bean, and they presented professional development to others to help them with some strategies on how do you perfect virtual learning and offer these opportunities. How do you build levels of engagement with students? Didn't go off, or maybe I turned it. But anyway, so going through that tells you a little bit about Courtney Harris. And then also these effective strategies, she not only was willing to share them, she lives them every day. And she's always looking at how to improve. Here's a young teacher trying to get better and improve her skill set. So it's with a great honor that I just highly recommend Courtney Harris also for tenure. The next person that I would like to call your attention to tonight is Miss Ashley Gass. Ashley is another young teacher, so that's 3 young teachers that we're recommending for tenure. She's passionate. She's passionate about CDC, and she has a huge heart. Huge heart. She's one that's going to volunteer and be given the hugs and the smiles, and you go in her classroom and you just feel the love and the inspiration. She's created that positive learning culture with her team, with her students, where they feel loved and they thrive. They thrive with words of encouragement. So when you walk in, if you can just imagine constant positive reinforcement, good job, I'm so proud of you, and it just resonates all through the day. So the children then start feeling that, and their commitment and level just continues, and we see them thrive and be successful. She's enthusiastically planning all the time. And one of the things that she came and asked me if she could be part of Legendary Lions. So she volunteers to stay after school to meet with students. Now, you've got to remember, we had social distancing. We had all the things that we had to follow. She still said, I can do it, and I'll follow everything if I can just meet with these students after school, because she believes in promoting leadership with the students in our school. So she does that on Thursday afternoons. And then this wonderful opportunity is offered again on her own time. This was something she presented to us that I think is a reflection of her heart. And so again, I'm just honored to be here tonight. And so 3 outstanding rock star educators. Again, Ashley Gass, I highly recommend for tenure. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will welcome Dr. Dillahay forward from East Middle School. He also has 3 educators that we will be recommending for tenure. They are Gary Barfield, Katie Hayes, and Jared Olive.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Gary Barfield is most proud of his wife, Tracy, and their daughters, Allie and Katie. Gary graduated from Tullahoma High School in 1987 and went on to play ball at several schools before graduating from Middle Tennessee State University. Mr. Barfield served as the head softball coach for Motlow State Community College for 14 years prior to becoming the athletic director at Motlow. Gary is currently in his 10th year at East Middle School and his 9th year as the THS Lady Wildcat softball coach. In 2019, Gary was inducted into the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association's Hall of Fame. He enjoys working with our students and finds watching them grow, and develop into young adults rewarding. Gary enjoys helping student athletes become better players and, most importantly, better people. Gary's passionate about providing opportunities for our girls to further their athletic and academic careers in college. He looks forward to continuing to teach at East Middle School and to coach the Lady Wildcats. Gary's a pleasure to work with, and I'm honored to recommend him for tenure. Up next is Ms. Katie Hayes. Katie is most proud of her son, Parker. Katie's a 2005 Tullahoma High School alumnus. She graduated from Tennessee Tech in 2015 and returned home to work for TCS that same year. She currently teaches 6th grade language arts at East Middle School. Her favorite thing about teaching is building relationships with students and supporting the specific needs of each student. Katie loves seeing the light bulb moment when students grasp a concept they have struggled to understand. Katie hopes to further her education and continue to grow professionally to become the best teacher she can be for her students. Ms. Hayes enjoys teaching beyond the classroom and empowering students to take ownership of their education. Katie's a pleasure to work with, and I'm honored to recommend her for tenure. And finally, Mr. Jared Olive is most proud of his wife, Macy. Jared graduated from Tullahoma High School in 2009, from Carson Newman in 2013. He began working in Tullahoma's tech department in 2015 after spending 2 years coaching football at Peru State. In 2016, Jared transitioned to Robert E. Lee Elementary School, where he taught physical education. Jared has coached middle school track, basketball, and high school football in Tullahoma. Mr. Olive enjoys teaching related arts because he gets to work with a broad range of students. He takes pride in building strong relationships with students and helps them find success in life through lessons learned in sports. Jared looks forward to walking in the building each morning and loves working with students. Jared is a pleasure to work with, and I'm honored to recommend him for tenure.
Thank you very much. I will welcome now Mr. Quick. Tullahoma High School has 4 educators that we will be recommending for tenure. They are Renee Flowers, Jerry Green, Jeffrey Johnson, and Jenny Woods.
First off, I have to say, Dr. Flowers, I think 2020-21 has been a great year for you. You've heard me talk about Dr. Flowers here earlier as she was chosen as Teacher of the Year for our high school, so I'm not going to belabor too much more of that. But I want to say thank you for all you do for our high school and all you do for our students, and especially some of those hard-to-reach students that you've done a phenomenal job with. Dr. Flowers first joined the Tullahoma City School System as an elementary teacher serving both 4th and 5th grades. In 2018, she joined Tullahoma High School in the role of lead teacher for the 9th grade transition program named T-Light 1. Over the past 2 years, her leadership has allowed many students to overcome the challenges and barriers they were facing in becoming successful high school students. This work is supported by her ability to gather critical data and develop effective strategies to drive instruction based on individual student needs. Along with teaching, Dr. Flowers also serves as assistant track and field coach for THS, and as we've mentioned, in February of this year, Dr. Flowers received her PhD in leadership from the University of the Cumberlands. There's not much more I can say about Dr. Flowers. It's an honor to work with her. It's an honor to watch her impact the lives and generations of families for years to come. So I recommend Dr. Flowers for tenure. Next up, Jerry Green. Jerry Green. Wave your hand, Jerry. Here's another example. You've already seen Mr. Green here earlier. Jerry Green learned welding skills on the job while working for companies such as Aztec Industries in Chattanooga and Marine Master Trailers in Tullahoma. He became a CTE teacher at THS in 2015 and has proven to be an outstanding educator and mentor. During his time at THS, his welding students have earned over 20 American Welding Society industry certifications. And as we saw earlier, in 2021, Mr. Green led the welding program to become the first certified Tennessee Pathway program at THS. Mr. Green says, "Teaching is a calling for me. This is the first job I've had that doesn't feel like a job." His passion for both his craft and his students has set a standard for excellence at THS. Very similar to Dr. Flowers, I've seen Mr. Green reach out to students who maybe don't realize or maybe don't have the vision of what education can do for them. I've seen him work with these students and give them experiential learning, hands-on learning with welding. And I think our welding program is one of the strongest I've ever been around. Mr. Green, I want to say thank you for what you do, and for those young men and women that you've really been able to reach out and make an impact for. So I proudly ask that you consider Mr. Jerry Green for tenure at Tullahoma High School. Next up, we have Colonel Jeffrey Johnson, USMC, retired, and I don't think that Colonel Johnson's here. Colonel Johnson joined the faculty at THS in 2017. As the senior Marine instructor, Colonel Johnson has provided leadership, direction, and management of the entire JROTC program. Additionally, he teaches all leadership level courses for the program in education. During his tenure, Colonel Johnson has created an impressive corps of cadets who model the integrity of the program both in class and in the hallways. Under his leadership, THS JROTC cadets continue to win annual, regional, and state competitions in various areas, including rifle teams and guard. Colonel Johnson has done an extraordinary job in mentoring our students and guiding them to success beyond high school. He is viewed by his colleagues as a self-reliable self-starter who is a strong advocate for his program at Tullahoma High School. As you see the cadets walk through the hallway, you can tell a cadet they don't have the uniform on, they don't have anything to designate that they're a cadet. They just carry themselves in a different way. And the impact that Colonel Johnson, Sergeant Ramirez, and the rest of the people involved with the ROTC program is truly reflected in the behavior and just in the discipline that these young men and women have. I really ask that you consider Colonel Jeffrey Johnson for tenure. Our last candidate is Miss Jenny Woods. Jenny Woods joined the THS faculty in 2015. During her tenure, she has taught both regular and honors biology in the Freshman Academy. Additionally, she serves as an assistant coach for the THS girls basketball team. This year, several of our students have nominated Miss Woods for the THS Well Done Wildcat recognition for her impact on them both academically and personally. Students always comment that Miss Woods is an engaging and understanding teacher who makes learning biology fun every day. And I'll tell you, every time I go in there, she's got something going on, and there's a Kahoot. Anybody in here know about Kahoot? And so I always walk in there when they're doing Kahoot, and I have to compete with those kids in biology, and I never win. But she does create a really good environment for the kids. And when I let her know about tenure today, she was very excited and very happy to be considered. So I present to you Miss Jenny Woods also for tenure.
I know that each of you has enjoyed hearing about these 17 educators who are eligible for tenure. Administration recommends that the board accept and approve tenure candidates as presented this evening.
Do I have a motion to approve the tenure candidates as presented?
So moved, Pat Welch.
Motion by Pat Welch. Is there a second?
Second, Sid Hill.
Second by Sid Hill. Any discussion?
One quick comment. The narrative and principles preparing these is a nice addition.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is.
So appreciate that, principals. Thank you so much. A great group. Thank you so much. Ready to vote?
Ready.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Great. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the tenured teachers. Dr. Stevens?
Yes,
Yes,
we are
yes,
so excited. And we want you to know that we will be celebrating our newly tenured educators at the August board meeting. What a nice way for that group of 17 to begin their school year being celebrated by all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Tuition rates 2021-22. Dr.
Yes,
Stevens?
absolutely. Board Policy 6204 states that students residing outside the boundaries of the school district may attend schools within the school district under several conditions, including paying a tuition fee established annually by the board. Administration recommends continuing the following for the 2021-2022 school year. High school tuition rate, $900, middle school tuition rate, $600, and elementary tuition rate, $300. Administration does recommend accepting tuition rates for the 21-22 school year as follows: $900 for high school, $600 for middle school, and $300 for elementary.
Very good, thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the recommendation?
So moved.
Motion by Amy Johnson, sorry. Is there a second?
I'm sorry.
Is there a second?
Second, Sid Hill.
Second by Dr. Sid Hill. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Thank you. Motion passes. Great. Thank you so much. Director Evaluation. Board Policy 5.803 states that every year the director will receive an annual evaluation given by the board. And this year I had the privilege of reviewing the results of the evaluation. Every board member completes the document, and Dr. Stevens and I met on April 15th, and it was honestly a pleasure and it's an honor. Dr. Stevens received a 4.7 on a 5.0 scale, and I just could not be any happier to have the opportunity to work with you. The board gave good feedback, and she appreciated the information from the board. And moving forward, our annual evaluation document will change because it's a living document, and as we work on our strategic plan, there will be changes. So we are so proud and honored to have you serve Tullahoma City Schools. And you received an excellent evaluation in a most difficult year and in your very first year. So we appreciate you so much. And so I want to give you a round of applause.
And everyone here knows that that result is based on the incredible people that I work with every day. And many of them are seated here. There are parents here. This is what makes the difference and what has helped make me successful. This board, this group of people have been amazing for me to connect and partner with in this work. So thank you. I really deeply appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much. We look forward to the next year.
And many after.
That's right. That's right. Tennessee Code Annotated 49-2-203C states, no school board shall extend the contract of a director of schools without getting notice of the intent to do so at least 15 calendar days prior to the scheduled meeting at which action shall be taken. I would like to make a motion to consider a contract extension for the director of schools at the Board of Education meeting to be held on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021 at 5 p.m. at Tullahoma High School. Is there a second?
Sid Hill.
It's a co-second.
That just means we want even more.
That's right. That's right. We had a co-second, Sid Hill and Amy Johnson. Is there any discussion?
No.
Seeing there is none, we will vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Excellent. Motion passes. Thank you so much. So we will be considering a contract extension for Dr. Stevens at the May 18th meeting. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Superintendent's report.
It's just an honor to serve here. I just have to say that. Trying not to get emotional. This is home. It's just wonderful to be a part of Tullahoma City Schools. Woo. Okay. Since last we met, it has been action-packed. Today was a very special day in the life of Tullahoma City Schools. We welcomed Mrs. Lillian Hartgrove. She is the chair of the Tennessee State Board of Education, and she came to our district today. It was her first visit to Tullahoma City Schools, and it was really a special day. She was appointed to the State Board of Education in 2014 and was elected to serve as chair in 2018. In her role on the State Board of Education, she represents Congressional District 6, which we are a part of in Coffee County. Chairman Usselton, Sandy Vaughn, and I enjoyed taking her to 2 of our schools. We wanted to take her to every school, but we selected 2, and she has promised to come back. She enjoyed her time both at West Middle School and Robert E. Lee Elementary. We saw wonderful things happening in the classrooms we visited today, and I do want to give a special thanks to Ms. Herrera and Mrs. Gilbert for showing us around their campuses, and a huge shout out to our students, teachers, and staff who were fully engaged in teaching and learning. It was a very proud and special moment for our district. And as you know, much is happening in the district as we look to closing out this year and already beginning to plan for next year. The hiring process for next year is in full swing. As many of you already know, we made an exciting announcement on Friday with the appointment of Dr. Greg English as the virtual director for Tullahoma City Schools. And with the recent retirement announcement by Jack T. Farah Elementary Principal Debbie Edens, we posted the principal position for that campus last week. These are exciting times in the district as we work to recruit the best and brightest to complement an already incredible team of leaders, teachers, and support staff. Some building level celebrations of note. At East Lincoln Elementary, East Lincoln conducted a learning camp the Friday of spring break. The 72 attendees participated in art, STEM, ELA, and math activities. A great time was had by all. And the AR Goal Party was held as part of the Read Across America Week. Librarian Tammy Coop organized a mystery reader activity along with daily activities. Great job, Tammy Coop. She is awesome. And Michelle Wilcox organized the AR Party. The kids absolutely loved the parties. Great job, Michelle. East Lincoln recognized its educational assistants last week during Educational Assistant Day. What a group of dedicated and caring adults. We are blessed to have them serving our students. Career Exploration Week is this week. Sharon Nelius has several awesome activities lined up. Not shocking if you know Sharon. Robert E. Lee Elementary. Robert E. Lee Principal Mary Gilbert wants to share a special shout out to our TCS maintenance team for cleaning out the open classroom space and for the PTO for funding 2 outdoor classroom kits. They are now in the process of preparing the ground for the structures. Students, staff, parents, and community have shared wonderful ideas for possible phases to continue planning for outdoor spaces on our REL campus. They're very excited about this new open classroom space. REL staff has been planning end-of-year fun activities, such as the PE extravaganza and celebrations following our recommended guidelines to keep everyone safe and healthy. REL-related arts continue to celebrate and highlight the amazing work of our students. Mary Gilbert has been asked to present highlights of the REL TCS Social Emotional Learning and Harmony Meetup and Buddy Up work, and to also share student voices at the 2021 Virtual Music City SEL Conference in June. She has also been requested to be a featured speaker for the Future Ready Schools podcast on April 22nd. That's coming up this week. This presentation will focus on the SEL story at Robert E. Lee, with potential for a second part to include more of the student voice component. At East Middle School, all grade levels exceeded typical growth for iReady and ELA. Our ELA teachers have worked hard and should be proud of this accomplishment. A big shout out once again to TCS Maintenance. We have a nice new sidewalk leading to the soccer field. And we are celebrating the beautiful weather we've been having by spending a little extra time outside. At West Middle School, there's several celebrations here. In band, West Middle School had 12 students who prepared to try out for All-State Middle Band. Over 700 from across Middle Tennessee auditioned for this mid-All-State band. These numbers reflect a COVID-impacted year. Normally, there would be 1,000 students auditioning. The following students qualified for All Mid-State Band: Liz French, who also earned All Mid-State Jazz Band; Haley Brown; Meadow Jones, who was the highest ranked bass clarinet in Middle Tennessee; whoop, whoop. Tommy Diamond, Connor Shastine, and Elijah Malone. Congratulations to each of you. The SIA Book Festival, which is the Southeastern Young Adult Book Festival. At West Middle School, students have the opportunity to participate in the SIA Book Festival. 15 students earned the opportunity to attend the virtual SIA Festival featuring over 20 popular authors. This event is normally held at MTSU, but students participated this year virtually in our school library. Students earn the chance to attend by reading 7 books in our library. This promotion is called Read Around the Library, where students must choose books from different genres and categories to complete the activity. Students attending the SIA Book Festival in the library included Grayson Boley, Chance Cox, Jaden Downard, Liz French, Brianna Miller, Millie Smith, Nolan Stroop, Nevaeh Todd, Brianna Vigil, Kaya Vigil, Ireland Anderson, Oliver Burrell, Thomas Cunningham, Tommy Diamond, and Cambry Moyers. The SIA Book Festival is an event we work toward and look forward to all year long. And the Tassel Bookmark Contest. 6 West Middle School students were selected as school winners of the Tennessee Association of School Librarians Bookmark Contest. This annual event encourages students to create their own bookmark using any art medium focusing on a certain theme. This year's theme was School Libraries Are Best for All. The school winners, whose entries have been forwarded to the state contest, are Peyton Pinegar, Aubrey Smith, Ella Parr, Cody Crawford, Allie Tobit, and Nevaeh Todd. And now on to Tullahoma High School. Prom was a great success, and let me underscore great. We had a great time at prom celebrating those young people, such a big crowd. Thanks especially to Mrs. McCullough, Coach Holliday, Mrs. Holliday, and all of the teachers that made this night memorable for our students. Over 360 students attended, and as I recall, that is the most number of tickets sold in over 10 years to prom. So very exciting time. Congratulations to all the FBLA members that competed in this year's virtual competition. The following students placed and are eligible to compete in the FBLA National Virtual Competition. First place in Community Service, Haley Rich and Aubrey Sharon. First place Introduction to FBLA, Ann Duncan. First place, Hospitality and Event Management, Shiv Patel and Petros Pasinos. Second place, Website Design, Lily Story and Thompson Fan. Second place, Parliamentary Procedure Team, Brianna Aldrich, Anna Shambly, Garrett Coelho, Catherine Hills, and Biftu Rega. Third place, Publication Design, Aubrey Sharon. Fourth place, Introduction to FBLA, Jocelyn Turrentine. Joanna House was accepted to the Governor's School for Arts this summer. Visual Arts celebrated Youth Art Month with a virtual art show by displaying art on social media and hosting art challenges throughout the month of March. THS singers submitted videos for a virtual choral festival. Scores were not awarded, but very positive comments and feedback were received from all the judges. Our first live concert of the year is this Friday, April 23rd at the high school. I hope you'll be there. I certainly will. The concert is a selection of pieces from the Motown catalog. Most of the choreography has been designed by our students after watching YouTube videos of the original groups. This concert is at 7 p.m. on the 23rd. If you would like tickets, please let me know how many you need, and I'll make sure you receive them. And how about you let Mr. Lennon or Mr. Wilson know, and he will get you those tickets. Tickets will be available to the general public beginning Tuesday, April 13th, so please let me know, or please let him know, something before they're all gone. Spring is always exciting and very busy with much happening in athletics. We're going to list a few highlights with you tonight. First of all, the bass team had 2 fishermen finish in the top 20 in the region. They will compete in a tournament expecting 200-plus boats on Timms Ford this weekend. Wow. The swim team had 2 girls and 2 boys qualify for the regional competition. Tullahoma Middle School baseball is having a great season. They finished with a CTC record of 10-2. This places them second in the conference. CTC tournament play will take place this week. Tullahoma Middle School JV baseball finished their season 11-1. They traveled to Spring Station for the annual JV tournament and took first place. Look out, high school. You've got some talent coming your way. It is hard to believe that when we meet again in May, it will be the last week of school. What a year it has been for all of us. I applaud everyone, our students, parents, teachers, and staff for sticking together through a year unlike any we have ever experienced before. We definitely have bright days ahead. Chairman?
Oh, thank you for a great report. All kinds of wonderful things. Thank you. We are ready for the City Board Liaison Report. Mrs. Rupa Blackwell.
Hey, Mike. Thank you. Okay, I'll try to move through this pretty quickly. I apologize for missing the last meeting. We had some stuff going on, but first thing I wanted to tell you from that meeting that I wanted to share then is that the annexation near Avoca Lake has been pulled for now, so that has been removed from coming into the city. So wanted to give you guys a heads up with that. In terms of other planning commission things, there is a development there was a rezoning this past week at out on Ledford Mill Road. I think it's about a 50-acre plot that could yield as many as 180 homes. We have not seen a plat yet. That will come later, but the rezoning was approved at the Planning Commission level and will be moving to the City Board level. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up in terms of expected school attendance. Avoca and Riley Creek Road, was it last week or the week before that, the city board approved funding for improvements at that intersection. I know that we've had a lot of issues around that area. Another thing we're still working on at the Avoca Kings Lane area is the sidewalks there that we're trying to procure. We're in the right-of-way acquisition stage, so we're hoping to get that finalized and being able to move forward, but we're still buying the land, hopefully, if not buying, but possibly buying land from, and acquiring that right of way. So those are moving forward. I want to keep everybody updated because I know that's something that matters to you guys. The Mayor's Youth, thank you so much to everyone who's been helping with that and to the students. We've been having honorary aldermen. A lot of them were mentioned today in our superintendent's report, and it's just exciting to have members of our city school system that are about to go to college come and it's kind of like showcasing our school system. So we really appreciate that. Comprehensive development plan. I wanted to bring this up to you guys. The city board last year put money towards our comprehensive development plan. We last week approved moving forward with a specific vendor to do this. I noticed that you guys talked about strategic planning and that was something you guys were working on. I would love to meet with you and see how we can incorporate you guys into the process with the comprehensive development plan. I think that's going to be super important as we're looking at how Tullahoma is going to grow, what our city needs to do to ensure that we're set up to handle that growth with funding, land, all of it. So, and and actual industry. So would love to chat with you when it gets a little bit calmer for y'all. I know that you're going through the budgeting. That's why I know that right now it's busy. We're at the same point as well. Budgeting is going on. So if you have any concerns, I know that y'all are already working with Jennifer. But if you also have things that you have for the city, please feel free to reach out to any of us on the school board, on the city board. We're here to help you. So let us know. And just a big thank you to our East and West Middle School counselors for allowing me to come speak with the students about healthy relationships. It was fantastic being in the school system for the first time in a while. And also just hearing from all the principals sing the praises of the teachers it was wonderful. So thank you guys for letting me be here. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Just a comment. I'm really, really happy that you all are working on that sidewalk. That area for bike riders and walkers is so dangerous, and particularly when that sun is coming in, you cannot even see. So that's going to be great.
Yes, we're hoping to get that land from everyone. So of course. Anything else? Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Personnel report, Dr. Stevens?
Yes, personnel changes for April were provided to you in an attachment for your review.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And the monthly financial report, Mr. Ray?
Thank you again. You have provided in your packet those numbers through the end of March, and be glad to entertain any questions that you have related.
Does anybody have any questions? No. Thank you so much. Great report. Is there anything else to come before the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Celia Hill.
A motion by Dr. Hill, a second?
A hearty second by Pat Welch.
A hearty second by Pat Welch. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? All in favor, motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.